Welcome to DIY-abled's Cripstory, where you can learn about disabled people throughout time. Emerson Romero is the name that virtually nobody knows, but is such an important figure in disability history. Emerson was a Cuban-American silent film actor who is also known by his stage name Tommy Albert. He was an innovator of deaf technologies, including film captioning. As a child, he suffered from whooping cough, a highly contagious respiratory infection which resulted in him losing his hearing. His parents wanted him to receive a proper education, so they sent him to Wright Oral School that opened in 1902 and focused on teaching deaf children speech. He retained his Spanish but received a good command of the spoken and written English language and even learned fingerspelling, a rudimentary version of sign language. He attended mainstream high school in New York, Indiana, and New Jersey and was very athletic, especially in basketball and boxing. After graduating high school, he enrolled at Columbia University to study engineering and transferred to Lafayette College in Pennsylvania. He eventually left school because of financial difficulties and ended up staying in New York, working at the Federal Reserve Bank. In 1924, his older brother Dorian came to the United States to take him back to Cuba to work as a silent film actor, Emerson's dream since he was a little baby. By the late 1920s, Emerson was one of 5 actors working in the industry. He also edited, wrote, and corrected the scripts, and wrote texts between the scenes. Since everything was done in English, Romero trained himself to synchronize his acting with the tempo of the cameraman manually cranking the camera. Emerson's acting career ended in 1929 when talkies were introduced. This new technology excluded not only deaf actors but deaf movie watchers. During the 1930s, he went back to being a bank analyst in New York. Emerson didn't like that and decided he wanted to go back into the film industry, but this time as a person who created captions for movies with sound. He spent his own money and purchased various titles. He spliced subtitles between the picture frames to accommodate for dialogue, creating the first technique of captioning in film. Emerson Romero is a true DIY-abled hero. He was a deaf film actor whose skills were made irrelevant by technology, but he didn't let that stop him. He constantly tried to figure out how he could make movies more accessible to the deaf community again.